What up, Bulls Nation? We've got a live CHGO Bulls podcast coming up for y'all right around the corner. On today's show, new reporting and whispers about what's going on with Jonathon Kuminga, the Warriors sign and trade candidate, maybe wanted to come to the Bulls, but the Bulls are still dealing with their own Josh Giddey situation, restricted free agency. Am I right? Plus, Bleacher Report's top 100 NBA players of all time list dropped. We're going to break it all down next. What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome into the CHGO Bulls podcast. Coming to you live from our studios here in West Loop, downtown Chicago. I'm Peck, Bulls_Peck. That is Big Dan. Bow, bow, bow. BAWL Sports, Will the Go Gottlieb, perfectly coiffed, Will_Gottlieb. Read your stuff, allchgo.com. And Queen of the Controls, the one and only Katie Duffy. What up, Katie?
Hi.
Is everybody glad to be back in our old digs, back in the office after our Vegas trip and a remote day yesterday?
I think your feet are glad right now.
My feet are always glad.
Got the Birks on, man.
May to October.
But you weren't wearing them out, you know what I mean? Like as a public.
In Vegas?
Yeah.
Not as much.
Yeah.
I did do one day at Thomas and Mack with the Burks.
Okay.
I think it was our last day there. I was like, I'm done putting Jordans on for this.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, when we were heading out at night for dinners or, gambling and whatnot, those Vegas streets just a little too dirty for some
is
Burks.
that why? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I don't want to accidentally step on a syringe and,
What?
I'm already dealing with a herniated disc. I don't need some weird Vegas diseases.
What part of Vegas you hanging out here, bro? Like,
Have you ever walked up and down Las Vegas Boulevard, man?
I mean, I was with y'all. Like, I don't remember passing those syringes, G, is all I'm saying. That's all I mean. I don't know where we was at. But, yeah, man. I understand your concern, though. I do. I get the concern.
Goat and I took a nice walk on Monday night.
Okay. Okay.
You booked it back to watch your wrestling.
I did. It was great. Oh, man.
We did not, and it was a mistake.
Nice is not the adjective to describe that walk.
No, you're correct.
Emma and I did that walk shortly thereafter. It was not nice.
It was terrible.
It was fine, guys.
I'm sure y'all didn't have on, like, walking shoes, though. You know what I mean?
It doesn't matter what shoes you have on. It's the fact that it was 1,000,000 degrees.
Yeah.
Ooh, well.
It's still hot when the sun goes down, and the wind is hot.
It feels
The
like,
wind is really hot.
yeah, though it's like a
hot
dragon
wind.
blowing on your face.
Yes.
Shout
Like
out to
without the
dragons.
fire, but just like, what if a dragon was sighing aggressively in your direction? Well, we made it back safely and soundly. It is nice to be home.
Let's talk more about that.
Dragon breath?
The Vegas heat.
Oh, okay.
Shout out to everybody hanging out with us in the chat. Hit the like button if you haven't done it yet. Katie will chase you until you do. All right, guys. First thing on today's agenda, this was the latest reporting from Jake Fischer, our pal Mark Stein's colleague over there for NBA reporting at the Stein Line. Subscribe to their Substack. They do great work. Fischer was talking about what the latest he was hearing around Vegas as far as the restricted free agent dilemma that's basically existing across the NBA right now with some key names, including the Bulls' own Josh Giddey, but also Jonathon Kuminga. So we'll talk about the Giddey part, but let's start with Kuminga. Fischer had this to say, Katie, if you want to throw that clip up. The 22-year-old's camp had been hopeful, sources say, about a potential sign and trade with Chicago, but the Bulls have their own ongoing restricted free agency dance to navigate with Giddey. It is a slow dance. They are taking their time.
I mean, it's a slow dance.
It's interesting because, like, we talked about Kuminga as a possibility a bunch of different times because it was going around leading up to, like early off-season weeks. And, like, Kuminga Bulls was a thing that we just kept hearing. It kept seeing crop up from all over the place. Seemed like there was maybe some interest from the Bulls side in bringing in Kuminga. But also now, based on what Fischer heard in Vegas, there was interest from Kuminga's side. But again, it's still just like, well, everyone's at a standstill, and I think the Bulls, as Fischer pointed out, like they have to figure out the Giddey contract before they do anything else.
Yeah, I think that's what kind of, I shouldn't say surprised, but a little less surprised, but still like, oh, it just, made my eyebrow go up. that Kuminga had expressed like actual hope and interest in coming here to the Chicago Bulls. So he can, when you express that, that means you can see yourself being a part of what the Bulls are doing. And as someone who sat here and says, I don't know how Kuminga fits in, with this team, he obviously sees something different. Now, it could be just because, it's Chicago, it's a name. It could be just because he knows the Bulls could use more of a creative scorer or more guys who can create their own shot. You got Kobe and the Temptations, and that's it. So, yeah, they could use somebody like that. So he might be looking at this differently than I'm seeing it, which is completely fine because he plays in the NBA, makes billions and billions of dollars, so he knows what he's doing. But I did find that interesting that he expressed some hope, like, oh, man, I hope the Bulls are looking at me, and because I would like to kind of go and play there and maybe work out a sign and trade to get there.
And when those rumors were coming out, I said that like this was Kuminga's agent doing a lot of the work, and that turned out to be true just because like the rumors from the Bulls' perspective never made a lot of sense, especially when you draft Essengay and when you trade for Okoro. Like those are your wing positions that, I mean, Okoro is more of like a 2, I think, and Essengay is more of a 4, but it's just hard to play that many wings who are non-shooters together. I'm not like closing the door on this, but it just doesn't seem like there's a lot of interest from the Bulls side. It does seem like it was really coming more from the Kuminga side, but that's interesting just because like how many times can we sit here and say like a free agent wanted to come to the Bulls?
Right, exactly.
Like that doesn't really happen. And Kuminga's not like a marquee, all-star caliber player, but he is a talented young player who at least thinks of himself as an all-star player. Mm-hmm. And that's why he's looking for more opportunities. So I think from his perspective, the Bulls do make sense as a young team that wants to run where he can have a lot of usage to explore the studio space and just like grow and score. And that's really what he wants to do. But for the Bulls, I don't know, especially before they figure out what's going on with Giddey, the way that it would work, I think, is a sign and trade for Kobe. Kuminga gets traded for he's looking for $25 million. I think it said maybe that's the contract for 3 or 4 years. They send back Kobe. It works with the base year compensation rules, and the Warriors get a player that can help carry them through the regular season, take some pressure off of Steph, add some floor spacing, and the Bulls can get a high upside young player on a manageable contract. The issue is I think Kobe's a more valuable player than Kuminga. I think you probably end up paying him around the same amount. So for me, like Kobe's next contract will be around 25 to 30 million, which is what Kuminga's looking for. Mm-hmm. For me, I would need a pick back, and I just don't know if the Warriors are going to be willing to do that. But the other thing here with the Warriors is that there's a reason why Al Horford hasn't signed there yet, and that's because they cannot hard cap themselves before they deal with Kuminga, because then otherwise another team could swoop in and then they wouldn't be able to match beyond a certain number. So I think this kind of sign and trade would open them up to more flexibility to bring in other guys via free agency or using their trade exception. So that could be really beneficial to them, but that, of course, would require the Bulls to be interested in Kuminga, which just doesn't really seem like that's there.
When you say get a pick back, like, does it matter the type of pick, first round, second round,
sure.
swap?
Yeah.
Does it matter, like, if it's a swap, top 10 protected, or anything
pick.
like that?
I mean, I'm sure they wouldn't want to give up an unprotected pick, but, like, I'm not doing it for – it's probably going to be a pick in the, like, teens or 20s just because the Warriors are so good. The West is tough. Injuries can happen. I can't imagine they would give up a totally unprotected pick. But, yeah, I feel like Kobe's value is so high right now with the Bulls, and he helps the Warriors in such a unique way with his low salary that there's value there. And I would expect the Bulls to get a pick back just in terms of value. I don't know if they would want that or what they would want in terms of evening out that compensation, but that's what I would be looking for.
Okay.
Dysfunctional in the chat saying, Kuminga saying, I want to go. Bulls saying, we want you. What happens? Nothing. Chicago Bulls, everyone. Fine Day saying, Kuminga thinks if he joins the Bulls, he'll get to be a, quote, star. This franchise isn't serious. Fish, meanwhile, saying, I don't think Kuminga's a thing. I don't think Giddey is holding up anything. Somebody else, I think, mentioned like this could be coming from Kuminga's camp, trying to drum up interest, his agent perhaps, and that's possible.
Exactly.
But I do think that the other thing that was interesting about Fischer's reporting is that Phoenix is the latest team to throw their hat in the Kuminga ring. Sources say Phoenix, meanwhile, is the latest team to express exploratory interest in Kuminga in a sign and trade, challenging as it would be for the Suns to make such a deal happen, but fresh off completing their buyout of Bradley Beal, enabling the Suns to waive and stretch the hefty contract possessed by Beal. They've contacted both Kuminga's representation and the Warriors to make their fondness for Kuminga known. So a team that has recently opened up themselves to a bit more flexibility after the Beal move got done. So, like, if the Bulls are genuinely interested in Kuminga still and a sign and trade, not only do they have to navigate the Giddey thing, they also could be in competition for his services. Which, you know, if Phoenix, whatever you can say about some missteps they've made recently, one thing they are always, it seems, under this leadership group is bold. Like, they will find ways to make things happen.
Yeah.
If they want Jonathon Kuminga and the Bulls want Jonathon Kuminga, the Suns will get Jonathon Kuminga.
It's true.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, the Bulls don't seem motivated to get him. In fact, they're being very patient and like aggressive in a defensive way against Giddey in terms of what he's asking for. So I don't imagine that they'll we don't want to spend on Giddey, but we're gonna throw a huge offer sheet at Kuminga. Like, I don't think that they're interested in spending that kind of money. So to me, I can't see any real interest there. That just doesn't seem like a good fit. And so for the Suns, yeah, maybe they emerge as the only suitor. I'm not sure exactly what their cap situation is now following the Beal wave and stretch.
The $97 million they gave?
Over 5 years, they will owe him that much.
Shout out, young man.
So good for him. But yeah, I mean, I think like that is the kind of thing that will put pressure on a team to have some dominoes to start falling. And so if there's any sort of like, we're not budging, if Giddey's camp is not budging until we see what happens with Kuminga, that could spur some activity. And that's the thing about all of this. Like, there's a lot of conversation about like, give Giddey $1 over the mid-level exception. That's the best offer that any team can get. Take it or leave it. Like, we're playing extreme hardball. And it's like, I was listening to a podcast, and I can't remember who it was, but they said like, you never know, like one team could just be one move away from creating that kind of space. And now all of a sudden there is a team that can offer you more money than you anticipated. And maybe you damage a relationship. So to me, like, it's never so black and white in practice as it is in theory with Giddey. And that's why I think like ultimately they will pay him in the $25-ish million range, just because like it doesn't always work out. Like, we're just going to give you the $1 more than the next closest offer and you're going to take it and like it. So if the Suns are in on Kuminga, and that doesn't necessarily open up more marketplace for Giddey, especially if they if the Warriors don't match it and they allow a trade or a sign and trade to happen. But I do think that could spur some activity on the Bulls end of like, okay, we're not using Jalen Suggs as an anchor anymore. We're using Kuminga, and now that deal is signed, so we know what to base our expectations on.
Back to the trade you were talking earlier. You mentioned Kobe as the person you give up there.
I'm not saying I would give him up. I'm saying that's what I would expect the Warriors to want.
Yeah, so I'm just using that reference. So is Kobe the one player you see like that they would want? Like, there's no Vooch idea that could come about in this anymore?
Yeah, the Vooch thing is just really tough because the money is a challenge. As far as the base year compensation, like, you just have to pay Kuminga, like, I think it's like high 30s, basically a max deal for him, which is like not going to be tenable for the Bulls. And then also like the Warriors have an opportunity to sign Al Horford to like the taxpayer mid-level exception or the full mid-level, depending on how much space they're able to open up. Like, that's a better value deal than what Vooch is making on, $21.5 million. So, Zach Lowe said recently on their podcast that he wasn't sure that the Vooch interest from Golden State existed, let alone still exists. Like, he said it may not have ever been a thing. But I just don't see them really having that interest in Vooch there when they have cheaper options.
Yeah, that quote was from Zach Lowe. I don't think Vooch to Golden State is a thing. I don't think it's a thing. I'm not sure it really ever was a thing on this current contract anyway. So there was that. All right, we got to knock out our first ads. When we come back on the other side, more of this talk, including more Fischer had to say about specifically the Giddey and Bulls negotiations, which remain ongoing. Hit the like. Here's some ads.
Hey, Julia.
Hi.
Sunny side. Cannabis Dispensary. I apologize, Katie. That's my fault. Is your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping, a place where all kinds of visitors are welcome to explore, discover, and purchase a wide array of high-quality hydroponics in the city. They got everything to elevate your summer, winter, spring, and fall. It's your one-stop shop for all your cannabis needs. Sunnyside has an expertly curated menu with over 100 strains to choose from, plus easy online ordering and in-store pickup. It's Illinois' favorite dispensary with locations in the city, like Wrigleyville or River North, and all the way out to the suburbs, like Champaign and South Beloit. Visit sunnyside.shop for bright buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Enter that promo code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. And for existing customers and existing users, use that promo code CHGO50 for 50% off of one Cresco Labs brand item. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary, bright buys every day, only for 21 and over, or Illinois Met card holders.
Today's show also brought to you by Arena Club. Are you looking to buy, sell, trade, or rip open packs of cards? Arena Club is changing the card collecting hobby with their transparent slab packs and no-fee auctions. You've got to check out these slab packs, y'all. You can rip a pack for as low as $25 and hit on a card that's worth tens of thousands. I got my showroom collection growing. Got a LeBron, got a Harden, got a Paolo. I'm digging this Arena Club life. Acquire the best value for your money with slab packs, transparent checklists, and Arena Club's Slab Safe program. Whether you're buying, selling, trading, grading, or ripping packs, Arena Club is the safest, most trusted name in the game. Also, check them out at the 45th National Sports Collectors Convention, July 30th through August 3rd at Donald E. Stevens Convention Center in Rosemont. Right now, get 20% off your first slab pack or card purchase by going to arenaclub.com/CHGO, promo code CHGO. We roll along here, CHGO Bulls live Thursday afternoon, hanging out in studio. Pack Big Dave, Goat, Katie on the controls, talking Kuminga, signing trades, and the Josh Giddey dilemma, the Josh Giddey negotiations that are ongoing. Let's now touch on the other little snippet that Fischer had from his Substack, Stein Line, reporting on Josh Giddey, saying, oh my goodness, Giddey's representation has not wavered in its pursuit of a $30 million annual salary, sources say, while the Bulls' offers have been much closer to $20 million.
I'm sorry, what happened there? You lost your place?
Here we still are, y'all. Look, I think Bulls fans can still be...
Matt is still mentally in Vegas, I think.
Part of me died there, just like every time we go. People stepping over me on the strip.
Oh, that was great.
I think Bulls fans are saying, like, look, don't just give him $30 million because you can. AK, actually use some leverage. Others are saying, you went out and traded for this guy because you want him to be, if not your franchise player, at least a big piece of what the heck you're building or trying to build. And don't piss him off by lowballing him. There has to be middle ground. And it has to be middle ground that both sides have to eventually come to. It just does seem interesting that Fischer noted and was the most recent of several different reports, locally, nationally, to say far apart. Giddey and the Bulls in these negotiations remain far apart. That is the reporting. So at some point, like I don't think people are talking about feeling a certain level of risk of like, well, the Bulls could just like lose Josh Giddey for nothing.
Yeah.
There are no other suitors.
Yeah.
There are no other wallets capable of paying him the figure he's looking for from the Bulls.
This is it.
So, and look, I think it was Grandmama in the chat, Grandmama's Flight School, saying Giddey isn't going to take a $20 to $22 million deal. That's an $8 million haircut a year or a $40 to $50 million difference total, I assume he means. He already bet on himself and willingly asked to be traded from a championship caliber team. So let me just say that to this. I think there's a difference between declining a deal of a team you're currently on and betting on yourself to have a great season and then a bigger payday a year from now. I wouldn't classify a player who lost his spot in the starting lineup asking for a trade as betting on himself. That's asking for a fresh start.
Yeah.
Because you know the team that drafted you ain't giving you that contract. Boom. That's not betting on yourself. That's reading the room and being like, all right, well, if you can find me a way out of here, point me to the exit, I'll go try and reboot my career somewhere else. That's not betting on yourself. That's making the best of a bad situation. In no way does that require the Bulls to give Josh Giddey more money than they think he's worth.
Mm-hmm.
It's also
Bueller.
It's also not a haircut because $30 million was never offered. If $30 million were offered, then the deal would be done.
Right.
They didn't offer him 30 last year. They haven't offered it to him now. That's what he wants. And if they had offered it, he would have signed it. So it's not a haircut to say, like, you know, taking $8 million less. Like, the offer is the offer. And, like, I think that there's this element of, like, people feel like a player should be paid what he's worth. And I think that that's a lot of times true. Mm-hmm. And from a player's perspective, that should always be true. Like, you would always hope that. But the reality is you're worth what a team will pay you. Mm-hmm. And nobody's offering him more because nobody can, right? The Bulls are offering him whatever number they're offering him. It's probably around 20 or in the low 20s would be my guess. So that's what he's worth, right? He's worth what somebody is willing to offer. Now, if another team opens up some cap space using a different move and they offer him 30, then he's worth 30 because that's what that team is offering. But it's not a haircut to say just because he wants 30 doesn't make him worth 30. Mm-hmm. And just because he wants 30 doesn't mean 22 is an $8 million haircut. That's the offer. Like, and I think at a certain point, like both of these sides are going to have to look themselves in the mirror and say, do we want to get something done long-term or not? And the Bulls have all the leverage in the world to say, yeah, we want to get something done, but like, we're not worried about you leaving for less for another team where you're going to have less opportunity. Like, we're offering you the opportunity to be the man. You are the point guard of the Chicago Bulls. You saw what this can do for your brand, making that shot against the Lakers. You're all over SportsCenter. Like, if you play well, that can be really good for you. And like, we're offering you more money than any other team possibly can. Longer term deal, more guaranteed dollars long term. Like, I don't view it that way. Just because like he wants that much doesn't mean that he is necessarily worth that much. And I'm not saying that that is true in a vacuum, but that's what the market environment dictates. And so that is really what it comes down to.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I wanted cookies all the time. And I would go to my mother and say, give me some cookies, and I'm walking away with some beets. You know what I'm saying? Like some broccoli. You know what I mean?
Nobody
Stuff like
actually
that.
eats beets.
Oh, brother,
It's
I
a
ate beets.
made-up vegetable that only exists in the Office universe.
Let me tell you something right now, my friend. I definitely, absolutely ate beets.
Get out of here.
Oh, yeah, Mom's was cooking beets, bro. What was I going to do, cook? what you mean? As a kid, what you think I was going to do? I was eating beets.
Make a cookie salad?
Right. You know what I mean? Ooh, oatmeal. They got fruit. It's raisins. But, yeah, man, like, okay, that's what you want. That's nice. That's not what you're going to get. When we were riding the tram to get to the other gate in Vegas and we were talking about this, I was saying to you then, I think both sides are handling this correctly. Mm-hmm. I really, truly do. You have Giddey on one side saying, dude, I want $30 million. Yes, you should be asking for $30 million and hold firm to it as long as you possibly can. That's exactly what you should be doing. And here you're on the Bulls side saying you can hold on as tight as you want, but you're going to have to let go at some point in time, sir, because there's nowhere else to go. Shout out, officer and a gentleman.
Yeah.
There's nowhere else for you to go at all. You have to play here. And this isn't a bad place to play for a nice amount of money, which is going to be in the $20 million range. So, yeah, this can drag on for as long as it needs to. And I don't have a problem with it, but I have no real true issue with how either side is handling this negotiation. Because the one thing they have right now is time. So you can take all the time that you need to figure this stuff out. I don't see another team coming in, swooping in the night saying, oh, man, we're going to go ahead and give you this contract because we really want you on this team. We're going to give you your $30 million. Might happen next year if he messes around and signs a qualifying offer. But it will not happen this time, man. So this is all you got right now is the Chicago Bulls, and that's not a bad thing.
And I would say this about the qualifying offer, too. Like, I think that there is a risk. If you're the Bulls, I think there's a risk of him taking that.
Sure.
If the offer is low enough. So to me, like, if the offer is $18 million, then he probably takes the qualifying offer because then he's only losing or taking a $6 million haircut this year or $7 million. Like, his qualifying offer is $11 million. So at that point, it probably makes sense for him to, bet on himself, try to get a bigger deal next summer. And maybe that, hurts the relationship beyond repair. And, that's a risk that both sides will have to live with. But I think if the offer's in the 20s, like he's costing himself $10+ million this year, plus having the risk of getting hurt next year, not playing as well. Not as many teams having cap space next year as we think at this point, because oftentimes there's projection for cap space, but guys re-sign, they extend. There are trades that change cap space for future teams, and I think a lot of people are starting to realize actually next year some teams might have cap space, but really 27 is going to be the year where a lot of teams really open some space up. And again, that's why I think the Bulls have to be careful about having these plans of signing a max player in free agency. But just because the offer is not there, the qualifying offer doesn't necessarily become this obvious solution for him. And I think if it was, he would have taken that part by now too. I do think that both sides want to get something done. I don't think that there's any bad blood going on right now. I just think Josh Giddey wants more money and the Bulls don't want to give it to him. And that's kind of that. And eventually they will come to terms on something, because I do think that both sides want to remain together. But both sides have to be reasonable about it too. And for the Bulls, that means understanding where they are in the grand scheme of things, understanding how they want to create and open up cap space moving forward. And for Giddey, it's you want a certain amount of money, but if it's not available to you, you're going to have to accept that, or at least try to work something out that meets halfway. And that's why I've always said I think 25 million, or at least the last few weeks since free agency is open, I've been saying 20 million would be a really team-friendly deal. 25 would be fair deal for both sides, probably a little bit more leaning towards Giddey, but not really meaningfully. And 30 would just be a way too player-friendly deal for the Bulls to give him at this point. So that's what I expect to happen. I don't know what the timeline will be, but it makes too much sense to not get it done. And I'm just not worried about the risk of the qualifying offer, because I just don't think he's going to be willing to sacrifice $10 million this year plus, an additional, whatever it is, $50 million, $100 million in the future, because there's no guarantees that he signs a bigger deal or a better deal with the Bulls certainly next summer.
Let me ask a question. If Giddey puts up, let's say Giddey has this season that he just had, let's say he has this season again next year, and this is if he signs a qualifying offer, and he has this season that he had next year, what is it that you think teams would offer him per year going into next season, knowing there'll be more teams that would want his services because they would have money available to give him? But they saw this year he put up with the, all of that, everything you saw this year. If he did that next year, what would you give him per year for another team?
Meaning the whole season, the whole body of work, not oh my God, post All-Star break.
No.
But
whole body of work.
If the whole body of work came out looking around the same as this past season,
absolutely.
Let's not forget the first half of the season. And I don't. Maybe some team desperate to make a splash move with a splash name will find a way to pay him the $30 million annually he's looking for next year if he has another season like this past one, which was, in my opinion, good, fine, not great. Lots of guys in this league make a lot of money that they aren't worth in the eyes of a fan or in other teams' executives, or it happens all the time. Look at Patrick. Dudes get paid who aren't worth it. Josh Giddey could be one of those guys. Next year, I think there are more avenues and more possible teams. Everybody knew that this year's free agency was going to be a crunch, and it was mostly going to be teams finding creative ways to pay and keep the guys they already had. And that's what it's been. Next year, it could be different. Andrew in the comments saying, if Josh ends up around 25 mil, give or take a mil, both sides can say they made the other come to them or, in some way walk away happy. I think that's kind of what you were alluding to, Goat. Julia, meanwhile, said Giddey's not proven to be worth 30 mil. They made a huge mistake with P. Will. Hey, that rhymed. Fine day. I will say this. If Giddey walks, the Bulls might be so bad that we tank into a top spot in the next draft without even trying. Oh, dear. Oh, darn. I would be so sad if that happened. Like Willy Wonka with the misbehaving children. Wait, stop. No, please. Let's knock out a couple other assholes.
I want to answer that question on the other side.
On the other side, Goat is going to answer that question that Big Dave asked as well. Hit the like. Hit the like. Hit the like.
Hit the like.
Today's show brought to you by Empire Today. Just like your favorite team needs home court advantage, your home needs home floor advantage. And Empire Today can help you get it. Empire Today has flooring experts. Floors. No matter what, it is all they do. Dedicated flooring professionals who focus on flooring every single day, unlike some people who might work in the flooring department of one of those big box stores who are not flooring experts. They're just assigned to that aisle today. You don't want to trust them. You want to trust the flooring experts from Empire. With Empire Today, you get clear upfront and all-inclusive pricing. Plus, you can schedule home installation as soon as the next day because nobody likes to wait. Schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better done at home. CHGO listeners can receive a $350 discount when they use promo code CHGO. You heard that right, $350 off with promo code CHGO. Restrictions apply. Visit EmpireToday.com/CHGO for details. 588-2300 Dave.
Empire
Today.
Let me send a big shout out to my man, Ray.
Ooh.
Chevrolet.
Ray.
Can't yell at Katie all the time, man. In Fox Lake is firing off fireworks with
Route
big
12?
savings all month long. Did you know that?
Now I do.
Come in today to shop the Freedom to Save sales event and drive home with $10,000 off MSRP on new Chevrolet models, or check out their selection of over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. As one of the top selling Chevy dealers in the Midwest, they are able to keep their prices competitive, so you know you're going to get a great deal. And that raised price promise, y'all, you can shop confidently because the price you see is the price you're going to pay. Go see it for yourself. Visit our partners at their convenient location right on Route 12 in Fox Lake. Don't miss out on their Freedom to Save sales event going on all month long for $10,000 off MSRP on new Chevy models. Shop Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or at raychevrolet.com. So proud.
We are back, CHGO Bulls, rolling along on Thursday afternoon, talking Giddey and the restricted free agency conundrum. You were about to answer Dave's question about waiting a year and what Giddey might be able to get on the open market in 26.
I thought that was a really interesting question and a smart way to think about it.
Thank you.
Because if he has the same year as last year, that includes the part where he really struggled in the first 50 games. And I think that struggling for another 50 games would actually drive his price down, where you have more evidence that this is not who he is on a consistent basis. And it's a hard thing to invest in a player who's giving you, these highs and these lows. And so for me, I think you might get a little bit more competition in the marketplace, driving up his price above 25 million, but it wouldn't change how I think about him as a player. And I just said that doesn't really matter. What matters is the market dictating what you are owed. But I think more teams, another year, a full season of him continuing to be up and down. I do think that he is benefiting from the recency bias of ending the way that he ended. And for some reason, the play-in is not included in that, even though the Bulls and Giddey both struggled in that game. So I don't know. I don't think that would change my evaluation of him. I also don't see a lot of teams competing for his services next year either. Think about the league. Most teams have point guards. It's just there's not a lot of those starting jobs out there, especially for guys that have similar flaws. So I like Giddey. I think he improved enough for me to want to invest in him and keep him around. But you can't be irresponsible about this. We've seen how damaging it can be for a 3-5 year period where if you are overspending and you're getting guys on contracts that are immovable, you are stuck with that. And that becomes harder and harder thing to get out of as the CBA becomes more punitive and these teams are trying to get off of money. We just saw Damian Lillard get waived and stretched. Damian Lillard got waived and stretched. They would rather have $22 million of dead money on their books for 5 years than keep him at $50 million. And now, of course, he's signing back with the Portland Trailblazers, which is awesome. But we saw the same thing with the Suns and Bradley Beal. You cannot have that kind of money. And so at $20, $22, $25 million, is that the end of the world? No. But if Giddey plays at all like he did in the first 50 games while he's making that much money, that becomes a problem. And that's why I've always said you have to get upside and value on this contract. It can't just be pay him the most you believe he could possibly be worth, because then there's no upside for you there. If he doesn't exceed that, it's going to be hard for him to exceed that. And if he doesn't, then you have a bad contract. if he plays up to that value for 25, 30 games a year and that's it, like that's not worth the money. And so I am optimistic that Giddey can be more consistent, can play more to how he played during those final 25, 30 games. But there isn't enough information about this. And I think that is in some ways benefiting the Bulls, that they have the leverage in these in addition to the market being what it is right now. But at the same point, like if it was 20 games at the start of the season and 50 games at the end, like we wouldn't even be talking about 20 million. And I think that's a real key here that a lot of people are forgetting. And yeah, I mean, the recency bias is just a strong piece.
One of our regulars, good old Paul Sorensen in the chat, saying seems likely that Giddey will play the way he did in the second half. 100 to 125 million over 4 years seems fair. But based on what? Your hopes? Maybe you're saying based on the fact that Levine was gone and the team became more about Giddey.
Yeah.
And not building up Zach's trade value to a point where they could trade him in a trade that did not wholly suck for AK, which was the case coming into the season. There is that factor to it. But still, again, I think anyone skeptical of throwing a big bag of money at a guy for a sample size of, what, maybe 20 games where he looked like that version of a player?
Yeah. In the second half.
It's a big risk. It's a big risk to take. And look, I think bottom line, AK knows worst case scenario, what he cannot let happen is that they lose Giddey for nothing.
Correct.
Like,
yeah.
Playing on the qualifying offer and then leaving, or taking the veteran minimum from some other team right now.
Yeah.
And saying, F you to the Bulls. I'm going to go do a prove-it year on a vet minimum somewhere else. Those are the two scenarios that theoretically could be worst-case scenario for AK. And not that his seat is hot or anything, but that's the result you can't have if you're the Bulls side in this negotiation.
But I even think like it's worse to overpay him in a damaging way than to lose him for nothing.
I agree. I agree.
I mean, you just saw.
I know you agree.
Again, like, would it have been better for the Bucks to have not done the Damian Lillard trade, or the Suns to not have done the Bradley Beal trade, than to overpay to get those deals done? Like, absolutely. And Giddey is 22 and not 33 or however old Damon Beal are. Like, it's a different thing. But like, having bad money or bad contracts on your books is way worse than having nothing. Even if you lose an asset, just walking, like, the optics of that are not good. But otherwise you're like stuck in a situation where you have to like trade your best player for and attach a second round pick to just get your own pick back. Like, you just can't throw good money after bad time and time again and expect it to come out on top. And so I do think that there is a level, it's like a hard precedent to set, but there has to be a level of just being prudent to the point of, I would rather not have a bad deal than I would rather not have you at all than have you on a bad deal.
Yeah, and I think the Bulls are honestly trying to save themselves from themselves. Because if you're looking at, let's just take the deals that they made for that core forward that they had. Caruso was obviously an amazing deal that they got him for. But the Zach LaVine money that they paid was a lot, and it took them a while to get off of that because no team wanted to take that on. The Vooch deal, where they're giving him extra $20 million or $20 million a year, and then giving him that option to come back in, was not a great deal. And you're seeing them suffer right now because of it, because they can't get him off the team. Because teams are like, nah, we'll wait. We're good on that, man. We're all right. And then the Patrick Williams, you can throw Patrick Williams deal in there as well, because they gave him that money and they're like, okay, it's time to do it. He's like, I'm going to get some chicken parm. And it didn't work out, or it hasn't worked out so far for the Bulls. So I'm pretty sure they're looking at that like, we have thrown big money at these guys and gave these guys more faith, in this money, with this money, I should say, that they handed to them. And now they're like, okay, this is Josh Giddey time. He wants $30 million. I'm sure they wanted to give him $30 million. I'm sure that they wanted to give this dude $30 million because that would mean he made them look, astronomically smart and brilliant in the way that he played. And it wasn't like that. It was a Jekyll and Hyde season for that young man. So now they're like, they're getting those memories and those flashbacks of all the money that they've given away so far. and nothing has really come in return with that. So now they're like, okay, well, let's be a little smarter about this. And I applaud them for that. But I don't think Giddey was going to applaud them for that because he, as I call him, Captain Craggy over there is like, bro, like, I want my money. Give me my $30 million. I deserve to have it. I feel him, but I also feel the Bulls on this, man. Like, they don't want to make that same mistake again. And this is exactly how they honestly should be approaching it.
And even you mentioned the big contracts that the Bulls have had trouble with, like Javon Carter you could throw in there.
Oh my
$6.8
goodness,
million
yes.
is not going anywhere. You could throw Jalen Smith in there. Like, that was a contract.
You could throw
that
Torrey Craig in there if you want to.
Chris Duarte.
Yes.
Like, they had to just waive
Legends
because they
all.
couldn't they couldn't keep him on the books. And so
Andre Drummond.
I do think that having you just can't afford to have any bad contracts. You look at the teams that are successful and they don't have bad money on their books, period.
That's a good point.
You just can't. And you want to build with depth, that means you have to spend more money deeper into your roster. And that means that all those deals have to be good deals, not just the ones at the top. Like the Bulls, I don't know off the top of my head what other teams' cap sheets look like. They don't have one minimum contract on their entire roster. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But that also
What?
just means that they're not offsetting some of their bad contracts, or they're not necessarily bad, but they're higher money contracts with really cheap ones.
No.
Like, they don't have one single vet min.
Wow.
I don't think AK knows
didn't
what
know.
those are.
Wow.
Well, they got Torrey Craig on it.
Yeah.
That was a fine deal, I thought. But
Player option.
yeah, you can't have bad money. And so in today's environment where it becomes so much more costly, every dollar beyond what a player is worth is that much more damaging and that much harder to move.
Yeah.
And so this is not a situation of well, we like the guy and we want to make something happen, so let's just give him what he wants. They've made that mistake too many times, and credit to them for finally learning from it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Our pal from out in Vegas, Stephen Hooker, in the chat saying, I think a 4-year, $100 million with a player option for the 4th year would be a good deal for both sides. Again, as not the biggest Giddey fan, I could be talked into something like that.
I would be fine with $25 million a year. I will say this. The longer this deal goes out, to me, the better, because
Yes.
the cap is raising every single year. And assuming that the deal does not ascend at a faster rate than the cap is going up, the longer it goes out, the smaller percent of the cap it is on an annual basis. So if the cap goes up 5%, 7% every year, and the deal is flat, that means it's 5% smaller as a total of the cap, as a percentage of the cap, than it was the year before. And so, if it's, I could pull up my salary cap sheet, but if the deal is $25 million per year and it starts at 16% of the cap, next year it's only 14.7% of the cap. And the year after that, it's only 13.9% of the cap.
Okay.
And the year after that, it's only 12.17% of the cap.
Okay.
And the year after that, it's only 11.07% of the cap. So to
pretty
me,
good.
the dollar figure, and I would try to get it on a flat contract if I could, which would help both parties because he would get as much money as he wanted up front, and the Bulls would have it descending as it relates to the cap going out there. But to me, if you sign him for 3 years with a player option on the 4th year, he could opt out of that and then sign for 35 or 40 million. And now you've got a much worse deal. So the longer, and this can backfire. We've seen this with Patrick, where it's you're probably just stuck with it. I'm assuming Giddey will be more productive and more valuable to the Bulls than Patrick Williams will.
Low bar.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the longer and the more team security you have, the better.
So, the cap hit. Does that make it more tradable then, since the cap hit is going down and getting less?
Yeah, and I think it makes Patrick more tradable too. He is 9.6% of the cap next year. He is 8.7% and then 7.9.
Okay.
And so theoretically, that $18 million a year number looks closer and closer to the mid-level exception. And now you can just put it into a team's mid-level exception via trade, and maybe you can get off it in a year or two.
Before we head to break, Seth Ryan in the comments saying the Bulls and Bulls media want to be mediocre forever, it seems.
It's my jam.
You're half right. Pay your guys or lose them. One of those two entities does, in fact, want the Bulls to be mediocre forever. It's the Bulls. I don't know which Bulls media segments or people or persons you're referring to. Some of us ain't on that MIDI play-in tournament forever life and complain about it daily.
Thanks
You know
for
how
tuning in.
you know how you get there and stay there? Overpaying guys who are good but not great, and that is what we are talking about. Pay your guys or lose them? Yeah, I agree with that sentiment if we were talking about star players, all NBA players who are expensive because they lead your team to deep playoff runs and championship contention. That ain't what we talk about. We got to knock out some more ads. We'll talk Bleacher Report Top 100 on the other side.
He like
Hit
Captain
the
Crunch.
like
Hit the
button.
It's hot with the hard T. Hot. You need to make sure your AC is right and it's got you staying cool inside. And that's where Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric comes in. They've been serving Chicagoland for over 50 years. Right now is the time to get your air conditioning checked out, and Four Seasons experts are ready to help you with your AC installation, maintenance, and repair. You can save up to $4,000 on new comfort systems with Four Seasons. New AC units from $39 a month and AC furnace combos for $57 a month. That is pretty good, ladies and gentlemen. They are your local trusted experts. That's Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric, just because they fancy like that. Visit fourseasonsheatingcooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. That's fourseasonsheatingcooling.com, because for all the right reasons, Matt.
Call 866 Four Seasons.
Well done.
Speaking of it being hot, Dave, you need deodorant you can trust this time of year. That's why you got to check out all the fine products at Mando. What separates Mando from the other deodorants? I'll tell you, it is a whole body deodorant. That means, of course, not only can you use it in your pits, but you can use it on your thigh folds, in your belly button, in your butt crack, even on your feet, y'all. Check out also their new 4-in-1 acidified cleansing bar, shampoo, face wash, body wash, and deodorant, all in one bar. That's the simple stuff that I, a lazy person, am looking for. You can also check out that Mando starter pack, perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 products of your choice for free, plus free shipping. As a special offer to our listeners, new customers get 20% off site-wide with our exclusive code. Use CHGO at shopmando.com. That's 20% off site-wide plus free shipping with promo code CHGO at shopmando.com. Please support our show. Tell them that we sent you there. Smell fresher, stay drier. Boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando. Rolling along, CHGO Bulls live here in studio on Thursday afternoon. And to round things out today, it's time for Taking the Temp. Which, of course, is brought to you by our friends at Four Seasons, your trusted local expert. Our Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. Visit fourseasonsheatingcooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. That's fourseasonsheatingcooling.com. Taking the temp of some NBA rankings. Ooh, I love this time of year, y'all. We're done. We're back from Summer League. They got one more Summer League. Ooh, the rankings?
Yeah.
Of August and September.
We're
on the cusp. We're on the cusp of that version of Summer Peg, and I love it.
Oh, the peg shoulder
Bleacher
shimmy.
Report putting out a brand new NBA Top 100 list the other day.
Goats on it.
Let's go wild, arguing what's right and what's wrong about it. So,
Will Gottlieb 101.
there is first the factor of GOAT. Not our GOAT. GOAT.
The goat.
The GOAT. Number one was, in fact, Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
As it should be.
If it,
Forever and
if it
always.
wasn't, I was going to find a mailing address for Bleacher Report and do some things about that. LeBron did come in at number 2.
Deservedly so.
Rounding out the top 10, we got Kareem 3, Magic 4, Russell 5, Shaq 6, Duncan 7, Bird 8, Wilt 9, Steph 10. You did not hear me just now say the name Kobe Bryant.
Did not.
Kobe Bryant. Are you kicking any of those names to the curb in favor of having Kobe Bryant in that top 10? Any other issues you have with that top 10?
Well, Kobe was 11. I'll say they had him a number 11.
He was right there at 11, yes.
I'm a little surprised for him to not be.
If he was
in the
still
top 10.
alive and he saw that, he would come out of retirement
he'd be-
and he
yeah,
would come
exactly.
back and win another
100%.
Yeah, he's asking for one-on-ones immediately.
Yeah.
Like immediately, man. I'm a little surprised by it. I am not someone who likes to put guys in a top 10 or a top 5 that are still playing out their career. So, I mean, there are definitely different instances in that, when you're just incredibly great, you've got to be in there like that. And I'm not saying Steph isn't. He probably is probably the greatest shooter we've ever seen in our life and time. But I like seeing it like when guys are, retired and done out of respect, for a guy like Kobe. I would have had him at 10 and probably Steph at 11 to give him something to, kind of still go for, and get there. But, I mean, I can hear their argument. He's great unanimous MVP. We've never seen that before. 4-time champion, finals MVP. He's got all that stuff, all those things. I still probably would have had Kobe at 10, at least at 10 in this instance, because Steph is still going and still can improve on those numbers and come back even better. Because having him at 10 means there's nowhere else to go but up, for him. So if he continues to do amazing things and still wins more titles, then you're moving him up. And, you're putting him over Wilt and doing all these things and moving him forward. As far as removal, like Shaq would be somebody I would remove, from the top 10. That's just me personally. And again, obviously, I don't have to defend the greatness of Shaquille O'Neal, all right? Probably the most dominant center I've ever seen, in my life with my own 2 eyes. But I would remove him from that strictly because of just the one MVP. I would, but I mean, he's got 4 titles. It's Shaq, dude, the unguardable specimen out there on the basketball floor. He was special to watch. But yeah, for that reason, I probably would remove him from that. And Kobe, dude, like it's Kobe, like 20 years of that
Kobe.
kind of level of greatness with him, man, having those 5 rings as well. He's got 1 MVP also as well, but it just feels a little bit different with Kobe as far as the scoring is concerned. Also, numbers-wise, he's got it with that as far as one of the greatest scorers of all time. Yeah, I would move Kobe up, and I would move Steph out, and I probably would move Shaq down in the top 10.
How many of these guys in the top 10 can you say, or really anywhere in this, can you say are like the greatest of all time at their thing? It's like Michael's
at their position, or what are you saying?
Position with their skill set. Like I'm thinking about Steph as the greatest shooter of all time.
Okay, got you.
Like Michael's the greatest scorer of all time.
Yes.
He's the greatest competitor of all time.
Yes.
He's probably, I don't know about the greatest, but like one of the greatest 2-way players of all time.
Okay. Tread lightly.
LeBron has like the greatest longevity.
Yes.
Like the long term of his career is like one of the greatest of all time.
Never seen it before.
Like to me, Steph has to be in the top 10 because he is the greatest at what he does of all time, and he has like the resume to back it up.
It's
like
true.
2 MVPs,
and the hardware,
only unanimous MVP, Finals MVP. I think he should have more Finals MVPs than he has.
4-time champ.
And obviously a 4-time champ. That was disrespectful.
I hit the nerve on the goat. I like
but also
this.
like the idea that like Kevin Durant was the best player on those teams. I don't know.
He wasn't?
I mean,
I don't think so. No.
Durant was cooking them in those final
so,
series.
but my point with all that is,
right
I don't
here.
think you can take Steph out of the top 10. I do think Kobe should be in there. Like, this
So
is
you
maybe
taking out Shaq?
I don't know.
Or who else?
Gotta take somebody out.
Okay, could I just? I'm not officially stating this yet.
Can't add a number to a top 10.
I'm just talking through it.
10A.
You can't go 6A and 6B.
That's right.
Would you consider taking out Larry Bird?
Never. No. Larry Bird?
He has
Yes.
he has fewer championships than Steph and Kobe. He has more MVPs, but he has shorter career. I think he was like very influential in the game. I don't know if he was more influential than Steph.
Larry Bird, dog. I'm not taking Larry Bird.
Just walk with me.
Of the top 10,
This is where the walk stops.
after Shaq, Larry is the next name I think that I would listen to an argument on. Either him or maybe, it's crazy to say this, but maybe Wilt.
I'm not taking Wilt out the top 10 either.
Me neither.
Wilt, Bill Russell, and Kareem are just like,
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. with
Like,
them.
I don't think
they're
you
just-
can not have them in your top 10.
Larry
French
Bird?
Bulls fans saying Bird certified top 10.
Yeah, bro. That's, man.
I think he's. I think the top 12 is very hard.
It
It's
is
very
hard.
hard to figure out 11 and 12.
Also, you know who I am glad is not sitting there at 11 or 12 or farther so that Kobe is in the top 10 and just because I kind of expected it? Tim Duncan. I was glad to see Duncan at 7 on this list. I think he deserves to be there.
I mean, you're talking about
I
one of the
agree,
most grossly underrated players of all time.
without a doubt.
15-time All-Star, 15-time All-NBA, 15-time
people are very
All-Defense, 5-time
disrespectful to Tim
champion. You talking about best two-way players in the game?
Yeah.
That conversation, regardless of position, the big fundamental.
Big
Respect that name.
It's because he lacked the explosiveness that people overlook him. But like at the end of the day, he was still just as dominant. So,
I mean,
yeah.
dominant.
Dominant.
He has the longevity. He has the accolades. He has. I mean, he's
Two-time regular season MVP,
maybe
three-time finals
I'm-
MVP. And
maybe
again,
I'm-
15.
maybe I'm missing something, but to me, he's like obviously
No, he
top
is.
6, top 7.
And let me say this again about Larry Bird. I'm not saying there won't come a time where he will go down. You know what I'm saying, on the list to get down, because obviously before he was much higher.
Yeah.
There will come that time, but the time ain't today for me. This like that's Larry Bird, 3-time MVP, and he won them in a row, like 84, 85, 86. It was Larry Bird. This during the time of Magic.
Do you
Like,
guys think? Do you think what I'm curious what you think about like the other players in the top 20 or so that are current. So KD at 13, Jokic at 17. I think Giannis is like in the 20s.
Yeah, 24.
What do you think about that?
Giannis at 24. There was some I can nitpick on for sure. I can nitpick on some things. Shout out to Hakeem Olajuwon. You know, I think he should be higher.
Oh, yeah. He was at what, 12?
12. But I'm fine with 12. I'm like, okay, I get
He's
it.
certified top 15.
Yeah, I'm not mad about that. I think Jokic is going to move up just, as his career. Jokic is probably the best argument for what I was talking about with Steph. Is somebody I'm like, okay, he's at 17.
When they're done.
But he's not done by any stretch, and he's just going to continue to move up and get better and make these conversations so much harder and difficult, which is what I like very much. Dirk at 18, like right behind him.
Did you notice that KG's at 16?
I did.
Shout out Saban.
As
he's
he,
gonna
I know
be
he ain't go like that at all.
What do you think
He
about-
ain't
KG
that
versus
at all.
Dirk debate rages on.
Yeah, where do you guys sit on that?
Dirk is in my top 5 favorite players, and he always, and let's say Saban will tell you this too, he definitely would always dominate KG. But KG, we had never seen anything
I loved
like Kevin
KG
Garnett, man.
when I was a kid, and he was a young player
He
on the
was my
rise.
favorite, bro.
Loved him.
The only poster in my house I had up was of Kevin Garnett, like diving for a loose ball. Like I loved Kevin Garnett. bro.
Looking at both careers in totality now,
yeah,
that they're both done, finished, I give Dirk a slight edge over KG.
yeah, I would, and I understand why they would go KG because we're looking at both sides of the ball.
Right, and the defense
and that
is not
defense
close.
it's not even close. It's not a thing at all. Like we're talking defensive player of the year in all time, like so many all defensive teams that he's been on. So I'm not mad about it, but I
Defend
leave that
Dirk shot though.
No, I leave it for my man John Sabai to debate like that.
Dirk's 2011 run
Yeah.
was like
Probably you can argue it's the greatest run
Iconic.
ever. You can argue
And
that.
the one time Kevin Garnett won a chip, was he the best player on that team? Is he better
No.
than Paul Pierce?
No, it was Paul Pierce. It was Paul Pierce. He was a close, but he was the heart of everything. But it was
yeah.
Paul Pierce.
Sure.
Yeah, it was Paul Pierce. Anthony Davis at 45, I don't like.
Anthony Davis was at 45?
Yeah,
I noticed that.
I don't like Anthony
I
Davis
did
at
not
45.
notice that.
I think he should be lower.
That seems a bit high.
He should be. Yeah, it seems very high.
Like
Kawhi
the
at 34,
top 50 is too
32?
high for Anthony Davis, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say
Yeah.
so.
And I feel like they did that just because he's on the top 75 list, which I don't think he should be
No,
on
he shouldn't
either.
have been on that
Also a
either.
bit premature there.
Yeah. So I would move him down for sure because I would have Westbrook over him. Yeah, I would. I would move him down. Paul George at 78, I think was high. I thought that was high. I mean, Paul George at
playoff
78.
P.
Is it, are these podcast
Podcast
rankings?
P?
Or what?
I think that's high. I think that's
Real
high.
quick, we're almost out of time, but Katie, did you have that graphic that shows all of the Bulls at some point in time, career-wise, did make the list? Obviously, in addition to MJ at 1. Jimmy Buckets was in there.
Who's
in
that?
the 83. Artis Gilmore just cracked the list at 100. Rodman at 67. Pow 62. Scotty getting some respect here, top 30 at
Yeah.
28. Love to see that.
Yeah.
Any disagreements with those?
I like Paul being 62. That's out of respect. Like,
Dude.
his career isn't discussing that. We talked about it with Tim Duncan.
His resume,
that dude's resume is
numbers,
nasty.
and hardware.
He was just never number one on his team.
No, that's true. That's true. Well, Memphis he was.
Well, on championship.
Correct. Absolutely right. But they didn't win until he got there.
Correct.
And that was very key.
Very key.
Dennis Rodman being 67. Shout out to him, bro. Like,
shout out.
My man's a rebounder.
Horace Grant
and I'm top
stands
70.
are
right. I'm top 70.
cranky right now.
Little cranky pants, as Matt would say.
That's right.
But just being a rebounder, you know what I mean? Being known as one, I should say, a rebounder and being in the top 70 shows you the greatness of this dude. He was also, a sixth man of the year, I believe twice, if I'm not mistaken. But that dude was special. I mean, truly, truly special. Also, again, shout out to Jason Kidd at 33, I think he was. Matt asked me, did I have an issue with it? I didn't have an issue. I never have an issue with Kidd on the list. I just need him at certain numbers. And I'm like, okay, great, fine.
What would have been unacceptable?
Outside of the top 40 would have been completely unacceptable for me. Outside of probably even top 35 would have been unacceptable for me. But yeah, man, like I'm never gonna agree. You know what I'm saying? Where they have them at, and I will make plenty of blazing arguments as to why I'm right. But yeah, man, him being at 33, I don't really have that huge of an issue with it. I think Kawhi was 32, and they had him just over that. And again, that's the guy who had the resume. More than the
Kawhi
length
is
of
such
the
an
career.
interesting one, man.
Yeah,
man.
Kawhi is like,
I think a lot of people would say that that's too high for Kawhi to be right now.
Too high
but
for
also
Kawhi.
like
Best player on two different teams, two different title teams.
yeah,
MVP on both in the
Finals
finals.
MVP.
He was a Finals MVP when Tim Duncan was there, man. Like,
Yeah.
that's saying a lot,
and
bro.
I mean, talk about like some of the great two-way players of all time.
Yeah, he's up there for
Defensive
sure.
player of the
But
year.
also, I think he's played 2 seasons.
I will disagree with James Harden being at 34 and Steve Nash being at 35. I would have Steve Nash
Ahead of
over.
Harden.
Yes, I would absolutely have Steve Nash.
It's just
ahead
so
of
interesting
Harden.
with Harden because his numbers are just absurd.
Oh,
like
dumb.
disgusting.
Some of those
Yeah.
Rockets years, man.
Yeah, I'm not
but-
saying he's not in the top.
but
40
like
or
you
top
have to take
35,
into
but
account the playoff resume, which
Yeah,
is
man.
like just terrible.
It's not good.
He
bro.
disappears.
It's not good.
Like, you can't be a great player and not play in the playoffs.
It's that simple. It's really that simple. But yeah, I would move him down just slightly. Probably have Steve Nash ahead of that. Luka at 57. Shout out to him for being at that 57. Jason Tatum at 93.
Wow.
I thought was interesting as well.
Wow.
Tatum's like numbers are for somebody at his age are
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's already won a championship. Like I don't think he is much higher than that yet, but like he is on track to be much higher than that.
Yeah. And you mentioned Clay at 98. And I want to ask your opinion on that one. So what do you feel about Clay at 98?
I just feel like, I mean, I guess I got to read like how they're evaluating these things. But if you're talking about like greatness versus most talented, I think like the Warriors guys, Draymond and Clay, should be higher. Draymond in particular because of the defense, like one of the great defenders of all time. One of the great dynasties of all time.
Yeah.
Like Ginobili and Tony Parker are higher than both of those guys, right?
Really? Interesting.
And like I think those
Ginobili
are
off
both.
the bench is higher?
I think
Interesting.
Ginobili was 75. I want to say.
Wow, that's high.
Yeah,
I mean,
Ginobili and
integral piece
Parker
of comp,
ahead
but
of Draymond
dynasty.
He was.
and like
Is Iguodala?
how much worse of a career has Draymond had than Dennis Rodman?
What do you mean worse? Like just
Like, are they really 50 spots apart on this,
wait, no, how can it? Rodman's 67, you
Yeah.
said, right?
or
He's
20 spots? I
67.
guess whatever
Yeah,
it was.
that's not 50
Yeah.
spots different.
no, not 50 different.
20
No.
spots.
20 spots.
But yeah, I mean, I just think like multi-time defensive player of the year,
Uh-huh.
one of the great defenders of the generation, and,
And 4
four-time
titles
champion.
to Rodman's 5.
Yeah.
So close.
Uh,
That's an interesting point to bring up.
Mm-hmm.
I also think people see Dennis Rodman as just a more iconic figure in the NBA
Yeah.
than Draymond. And
I also
Draymond is
think-
disliked by a lot of people.
I mean,
and you would think, well, so was Rodman back then. Maybe NBA officials.
I mean, Robin is
But, like-
also a multiple-time Defensive Player of the Year winner as well.
but like even Ginobili over
I'll get you on Ginobili, yeah.
Draymond is kind of
I
crazy.
think Dennis just
I
got
would
the
put
one.
him over him. I would absolutely put Draymond Green over Ginobili.
Dennis just got one DPOY.
I thought he had 2.
I believe he just had the one
What?
with Detroit. Yeah. Never
look
in
this
his 3 years with the Bulls. All defensive team, all defensive first team. But I believe he only got DPOY one time.
They got him at 2 back to
They
back.
got him at 2?
Actually,
Okay, so
90 and 91.
Draymond
90 and
has
91? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Draymond only has one. So
Draymond has one?
Maybe
Okay.
there's something there. But yeah, I don't know. I just think like Draymond is probably, I don't know. I've said enough about Draymond. I think he's really good. But it's just interesting to see. I just always find it hard to, like, Jimmy should not be above Draymond. Can we agree on that?
Jimmy
As
should
the
not be
foremost
above Draymond.
Jimmy guy
Yes.
on this podcast. He
I
should not
agree.
be ahead of
Katie?
I agree. Katie, do you agree?
No.
Do we need to go get Steven?
I actually think Jimmy should be above Draymond. Like, Draymond hurts his team at times.
At times.
At times.
He's also a reason the Warriors are 4-time champions.
Also,
Yeah.
Are the Warriors
I'm
4-time
not-
champions without Draymond Green?
He's also the reason they 3-1.
But okay, come on.
Yeah,
That
I mean-
suspension was bogus as hell. The fix was in.
Yeah, but it
But
still
it happens.
happened.
The
It
fix-
happened.
Yeah, well,
It was
yeah,
preventable,
an
and it still
example of
happened.
Draymond
But again, I
doing
think,
a
like-
dumb, costly thing.
I think
Dennis did that a lot too.
I think having your name be at the top of the list on anything is very important in this.
Sure.
And Draymond is the best small ball center of all time.
When do you start judging small ball centers?
Guys who can switch
No.
and
I said
defend the
when.
rim.
Like what year?
Yeah, I was gonna say
Like, when do you start
that's a
judging?
fairly new concept
Yeah.
in the grand scheme of NBA greatness,
but it
spanning
exists because of
a
him.
century.
Okay.
And that's changed how like the future of the game will look.
It's like Joe Kim Noah being
Like-
a point center.
Yeah.
Yes, but the buckets exist because of Jimmy. Because
As do the yeah.
we got to get out of here. Real quick, I saw we had a super chat, Katie. Do we want to shout that
it
out
on?
real quick? R Hall with a
think he's on the
999
list.
super chat. Thank you, R Hall. Saying
he didn't make it.
Kuminga can really play, fellas. This could be Tracy McGrady leaving Toronto or a Harden leaving OKC situation. Great Kobe. He's shown us what he is. Wow, bold take there.
Yeah.
Never hate a bold take. Appreciate the super chat, R Hall. All right, that's
said my
it
comment
for
is
today.
above.
We are going to push our show tomorrow, which usually would have been at 4 p.m. Central, to after the Bulls consolation prize game out there in Vegas. Bulls Jazz, 7 p.m. tip-off Central Time, so we'll probably hop on around 9:30 or so tomorrow night to kick off y'all's weekend with another post-game style show. In the meantime, read GOAT stuff, allchgo.com, become a diehard so you can read all of it. Follow him, Will_Gottlieb. Big Dave is a bow. BWL Sports on Bulls_Beck. We are CHGO_Bulls. Shout out to the Queen of the Controls, the one and only Katie Duffy. Have a great night, Bulls Nation. We'll see you next time. See you, Ruby Good.
Michael Jordan. Peace.
Goat.
We all silly like the mayor.